Good evening. The confusion and questions surrounding today's lockdown on the University of Ottawa campus a little clearer tonight. While we don't have all the answers as to what triggered the panic that had students hunkering down in buildings for hours, we do know no one was hurt and police now have a suspect in custody. Before the calm curiosity that had students surrounding the few flashing lights at the U Ottawa campus LRT station, nearby reports of a scene that looked like this.
So I was walking and from the pathway, and then I came around like 5:05, 5:10, and then I just saw a bunch of students like screaming here and they're running, and then protection service officers and some other people like that came and they get back, they were screaming to come back.
A couple hours earlier, mass panic, and a message that went out that had students and faculty in disbelief as they read from various screens. The first few words saying this: run, hide, defend. There's a violent incident occurring on campus. Avoid the campus. Leaving students in limbo for details, but also locked in buildings, unable to leave.
Some scary stuff. It was crazy. We heard the alarm in class, but we didn't really know what it was.
That was around 5:20 p.m. The lockdown gradually lifted shortly after 7, but police say the search for a suspicious man started earlier.
Shortly before 4:30 p.m. this afternoon, the Ottawa Police received a call of a suspicious male that originated around the Rideau Centre. With the use of CCTV footage, the male was tracked onto the Ottawa U campus and eventually on the LRT platforms. And we needed to speak with him because of his erratic behavior.
Police say it was the university's decision to go into a lockdown mode. No chances taken, especially with what took place at another Ontario campus. That situation saw a Sarnia man killed by gunfire at Lambton College's bar around 1 a.m. Friday. 20-year-old Dane Nisbet identified as the victim. 2 other men also shot, but will survive.
Our initial response was extensive. All available patrol units were immediately dispatched to attend the scene.
That news adding to the what-ifs here in Ottawa, but police say their suspect was arrested. No one hurt and no threat to public safety. CTV Ottawa has received some grievances around the university's communication with students about this situation. Look for any new developments at ctvnewsottawa.ca tomorrow. Now for a first check on weather, Jackie Perez joins us live. Jackie, did I see flurries in the forecast?
Well, it really depends. If you're going to be up around 2, 3 in the morning, there's a slim chance you could see some flurries moving through, but it should clear by 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we are in store for some sun and cloud. But here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. No flurries in sight. Right now, it's about 2 degrees, and the good news is temperatures are going to start to warm up and trend on the warmer side for the weekend. So this gives you a breakdown for Saturday into the morning. Mainly sunny skies is what we're kicking things off with. It's going to be a little bit cool, though. A little bit of clouds moving through, but for the most part, we are anticipating some clear skies for our Saturday. Here's what we can expect temperature-wise, starting things off -1. We've got those wind gusts about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. It should calm down by 8 p.m., but we are getting to a daytime high of 9 degrees. Buckle up, though, because by Sunday evening, we are likely going to see the return of some precipitation. We'll have this detail and more of your long-term forecast in just a bit. Stefan.
Thank you, Jackie. And you, along with others in our newsroom, joined millions of others around the world to watch the historic Artemis 2 moon mission's finale.
Use integrity. Splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
The crew module first separated from the rest of the spacecraft before hurtling through the Earth's atmosphere in a flaming hot re-entry. Navy divers circling the capsule assessed the air and water around it before opening the hatch and safely extracting them. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman says he has waited his entire life for this moment, adding, "This is just the beginning." There are questions tonight about how job cuts at the Ottawa Hospital could impact patient care for operations. The plan is to cut 3% of the workforce in the coming months, but as CTV's Josh Morano reports, that equates to hundreds of jobs.
It's a move that could impact roughly 400 positions as the Ottawa Hospital looks to close a growing budget gap.
I don't think it's exaggerating at all to say that this is a devastating blow to the Ottawa Hospital.
The hospital is set to cut 3% of its workforce at a time when demand on the system remains high. The hospital says the cuts come as it faces mounting financial pressure. Despite the province increasing funding in the 2026 budget, advocates warn it has not kept pace with population growth and rising costs.
Ontario hospitals are funded at the lowest rate per person in Canada by a long shot. You know, it's actually billions of dollars behind the average of the rest of the country.
The Ottawa Hospital notes it has already taken steps to cut costs, but say more reductions are now needed. Saying in a statement to CTV News, "We are in the process of working with unions and teams throughout the hospital to finalize specific details. These reductions amount to 3% of our overall workforce. However, through vacancy management and early retirement options, we will work to limit any involuntary departures."
You may be able to run a hospital without a CEO. You cannot run a hospital without the health professionals, the nurses, the cleaners, the people who feed the patients, all the support staff.
The hospital currently has more than 13,000 employees, including 5,200 nurses. Advocates say the cuts come at a time when hospitals are dealing with high demand, staffing shortages, and ongoing system pressures across the province.
They do very good work, but yeah, waiting for a specialist or waiting for any service is probably not what it should be.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
Meanwhile, more changes are coming to how school boards in this province are governed. Ontario Education Minister Paul Calandra says the government will be introducing significant legislation on school board governance on Monday. The Ottawa-Carleton District School Board is among 8 Ontario school boards already under provincially appointed supervisors, with elected trustees suspended from their jobs. Premier Doug Ford has refused to say whether elected trustees will be on the ballot in October's municipal elections. Also, changes coming to post-secondary teacher education programs in this province in an effort to address a teacher shortage. The Ford government will table new legislation next week in which teacher education programs would go from the current 4 semesters over 2 years to 3 semesters over 1 year. The province also says there will be more emphasis on practicum placements. The proposed changes are expected to come into effect in May of next year. And St. Lawrence College in Eastern Ontario is merging with Fleming College in Peterborough. The 2 colleges say the move will benefit both schools, creating broader access to programs and services and better financial sustainability in the long term. St. Lawrence College has 10,000 full-time students at its campuses in Kingston, Brockville, Cornwall, and enrolled online. Turning now to the story of a 4-year-old Ottawa girl with a rare disorder and her race against time to find a cure. Her family says she no longer qualifies for a gene therapy trial. They're now seeking special access and trying to raise millions of dollars in the hopes of saving their daughter.
What'd you pick, sweets?
This device on the wall is how 4-year-old Lucia Vaccaro communicates.
It's very, very difficult. It requires a lot of energy.
She lives with a rare neurological and developmental disorder that her parents say is slowly robbing her of her skills she once had.
It takes away your limbs. It takes away your speech. It can take away your ability to eat. It can take away your ability to think. You get locked in.
It's called Rett syndrome, affecting about 1 in 10,000 girls born each year. And while there is no cure, her parents say there is hope. In December, they say their doctor told them Lucia would be selected for a gene therapy trial led by U.S.-based company Taysha Gene Therapies.
We're told that Lucia is the best candidate and she will start getting this back and this skill back and this skill back. And we were really, really excited.
But weeks later, they say they learned Lucia was no longer eligible because she is 1 year too old.
The rug was pulled out from under us.
In a statement, Taysha says, based on feedback and alignment with the U.S. FDA, the company announced in January it's proceeding with the trial, which will include patients aged 2 to under 4, adding prior to that, no trial sites or patients had been selected.
I do understand the frustration of parents and families.
Dr. Evdokia Anagnostou, who leads Canada's first clinical trials network for neurodevelopmental disorders, is aware of 3 companies running gene therapy trials for Rett syndrome, but says only one has come to Canada.
There are some regulatory barriers that make it harder for them to come. And so we have to partner with our governments and our regulators to make it particularly attractive for a company to want to cross the border and bring the trial here.
The Vaccaros have applied through Health Canada's Special Access Program to get the gene therapy, but the company would still have to agree to supply it, and the cost wouldn't be covered.
The estimate is somewhere in around $1 million US, but it's very likely going to be a lot more.
Now they say time is of the essence, trying to raise millions as Lucia turns 5 next week.
Until 6, she could still be gaining skills, and then she reaches the peak, and from here it's only down. All we want is to make our girl better.
It is such a surprise that we don't have that already.
That report was from CTV's Caitlin Wilson. Coming up, more on the push for a bike-sharing comeback to the capital. Stay with us. A live look at the Queensway right now, with drivers getting some relief at the gas pumps just in time for the weekend. Gas prices dropped 13 cents a litre at stations in Ottawa overnight and right across the province today. Road conditions looking fairly dry, and hopefully stays that way for those looking to be out and about this weekend. But of course, Jackie Perez has all the answers to your weekend weather questions, right, Jackie?
Yes, and a lot of people are saying, is it going to rain? Eventually it will, but for Saturday, you're probably in the clear. Now, overnight conditions starting to warm up. Yes, there is a slight chance, a very slim chance that we could see some flurries moving through, but this is well before 6, 7 a.m. 0 for the overnight. Then we've got those winds starting to pick up. Again, a reminder, in the early morning, gusts could be up to 40 kilometers per hour, but it will calm down by the time we get to the afternoon at 10 degrees. The anticipated daytime high, and lots of sunshine also in store, so a good chance to get out and about. Tonight's lows across eastern Ontario, well along the Seaway, hovering around the freezing mark. Pembroke a lot cooler at -5, including Petawawa as well. So if there is a little chance of precipitation, that's where we could potentially see some flurries moving through. But again, tomorrow's daytime highs looking about 10, 11 degrees. So this is looking nice, and finally more spring-like conditions for our weekend. And that's the good thing, because we are getting closer to the middle of April. So by the time we get to Sunday, though, the clouds are going to start moving through, and then we're paying attention to this weather system that is moving in. We're going to start to see some significant rain really falling between Brockville, Smith Falls. Ottawa might avoid this, but we are keeping a very close eye on this as we get closer to Sunday. Now, our 7-day forecast, again, 10 degrees a daytime high for Saturday. Sunday, about 9. 17, 12, 17. That's going to be our trend as we get to the start of early next week, and hopefully this continues by the time Friday rolls around. And look at that, Stefan, sun and cloud, 19 degrees. All right, the early bird prize deadline for the Princess Margaret Home Lottery is midnight tonight. So this is your last chance to be entered into the draw to win the $2.6 million early bird prize, a Halliburton lakefront cottage, plus $50,000 in cash. Buy your ticket online at princessmargaretlotto.com or call 1-866-631-1234.
There are calls to bring a public bike-sharing system back to the nation's capital. A new study shows one could work, but it would come with a price tag. CTV's Kimberly Johnson explains.
Luke Jameson doesn't have a bicycle and thinks Ottawa should have an option for those like him to easily access one.
Long overdue. In a city with like the great biking infrastructure that we have, like all the trails and stuff, it is such a surprise that we don't have that already.
He likes the idea of a bike sharing system coming back to city streets.
I live in Chinatown, and if I could, I would 100% take some of the trails that are along kind of like the Line 1.
It's something Councillor Sean Menard wants to see as well. He got the wheels moving on a study back in 2023. The results are in, which shows a public system could work in the National Capital Region. The initial service area would cover Hull and Gatineau, and in Ottawa, Centretown, Hintonburg, Lowertown, the Byward Market, Sandy Hill, Vanier, the Glebe, and Old Ottawa South. Launching with 1,200 bikes.
The connections to transit, the mobility options that it presents, the cheaper way of getting around the city, all of these are reasons to look at.
But it comes with a price tag of up to $10 million to launch the system, with additional funding required every year to operate it. City staff are reviewing the study and want to see whether partnering with a private company could cut down on costs.
Having a company that can come in and operate the system, that knows these bike share systems in other cities that have done a great job of it, where we've seen those expansions, that makes perfect sense to have their expertise in here.
Ottawa has had bike sharing programs before. The last one ceased in 2018, but it's popular in in other Canadian cities like Montreal and Toronto.
I think the problem in the past is that the programs have been too tentative and they've been focused on tourists rather than actually residents who live here. And I think you need a good level of investment and a good sort of critical mass of bikes to get it started.
Information will be presented to a city committee later this month. Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
This is the kind of thing that should keep us up at night.
Coming up, one of the big tech companies developing a new AI model, but they say it's too dangerous to release to the public. More on that shortly. Canadian bank executives and other regulators met today to discuss a powerful new AI model, one so powerful it's not being released to the public. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
Energy grids, hospitals, banks. These are just some of the infrastructure experts say could easily be exploited by Cloud Mythos, a new AI model called Dangerous by the company that created it.
This is the kind of thing that should keep us up at night.
This week, Anthropic announced its latest AI model, one so powerful, the company says, that it can find vulnerabilities in virtually every major operating system and web browser, using relatively simple prompts. Anthropic says, given the rate of AI progress, it will not be long before such capabilities proliferate, potentially beyond actors who are committed to deploying them safely. The fallout for economies, public safety, and national security could be severe.
It's like using ChatGPT to be a hacker. And so, unfortunately, what that does is it means that our existing defenses are no longer sufficient.
While Anthropic is not releasing Cloud Mythos to the public, it is giving it to a select group of tech companies, part of what it's calling Project Glasswing, an initiative to help identify critical software vulnerabilities. While some have called Mythos AI doomsday, others caution Anthropic's announcement could be a savvy marketing strategy in the competitive race for AI dominance.
Many people would be right in saying that this is a little bit of hype, a little bit of press release.
Still, cybersecurity expert Claudio Popa says it's only a matter of time until Mythos or a different AI model with similar power becomes widely available.
We certainly need to acknowledge the capability of the tool, and we need to start preparing for such a time when there will be lots of AIs scouring the internet looking for vulnerabilities.
Experts say this announcement should serve as a wake-up call to organizations and governments to beef up their cybersecurity. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's unemployment rate remains at 6.7% after the economy created jobs last month. BNN Bloomberg's Mirella Fernandez has more.
14,000 jobs were created, the first positive number so far this year. The gains weren't enough to offset the loss of about 109,000 jobs since the start of the year. There was a small gain in manufacturing in March, but U.S. tariffs have been stripping that sector over the last year, with 44,000 total jobs lost. Jobs were gained in personal and repair services and in natural resources. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 72.28. West Texas Intermediate is down to 96.57. Western Canadian Select is up over $1 to 72.63. And the TSX gained 218 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Mirella Fernandez.
It's a fast league where young talent are trying to showcase their skills at a professional level.
Coming up, we meet a new competitor for Ottawa's professional soccer team. Welcome back. We're getting a look tonight at how much it costs to rent an apartment here in Ottawa. The average asking rental price in Ottawa last month was $2,145. In Canada, it was higher at nearly $2,400. The national average was just over $2,000, the lowest in 35 months. The cost of renting a one-bedroom and two-bedroom apartment in Ottawa did drop slightly in March. A one-bedroom cost an average of $1,955, down $5 from February. The average rent for a two-bedroom dropped to $2,457 last month. New data shows the busiest red light cameras in Ottawa so far this year. The camera in the northbound lanes of King Edward Avenue at St. Andrew Street issued the most tickets in January and February. It nabbed a total of 402 drivers. The one on Wellington at Bay issued 251 tickets during the first 2 months of the year, followed by the one on Kent Street at Arlington Avenue, which nabbed 246 drivers.
Housing without health supports is not supportive housing, it's housing. And here today we're really wanting to see how we can actually drive integration to really build and develop as much truly supportive housing as possible.
A health and housing symposium today between the health sector and the housing sector to talk about the importance of building and integrating services together. Housing is important, but the need for housing that has medical treatment services and counseling available for people to stabilize and be successfully housed is severely lacking. Mayor Mark Sutcliffe declared April 10th Health and Housing Day here in Ottawa. Well, Montreal has a new pro men's soccer team. FC Supra de Quebec begins its inaugural season tomorrow and will play at Letico, Ottawa on April 19th. Here's Matt Gilmore.
Montreal's newest pros are putting the final touches on preparations. FC Supra kick off Saturday in the Canadian Premier League, an all-Canadian professional division now entering its 8th season.
It's an exciting league. It's a fast league where young talent are trying to showcase their skills at a professional level.
Team captain David Chouanière is one of the most decorated players in the league's history, winning 4 championships in 7 years with Hamilton's Forge FC. He's now returning home to lead this young group into its first season.
I mean, it's an honor. When I heard the news that there will be a team in Quebec, I think it was a no-brainer for me.
The team is the result of years of work by former Montreal Impact player Rocco Placentino.
Playing the game for 12 years as a pro and then stepping into the amateur world at Saint Laurent for 13 years led me to believe that there's too much talent in this province and a lot of missed opportunities for young players.
To make the team, players have to be born and raised or played at least 1 year of amateur soccer in Quebec.
All of us have played on these fields all over Quebec, and that unites us, and it makes it mean a little bit more.
The same is true for head coach Nicolas Rezahi, who worked his way up from youth coach to college level, semi-pro, and now professional.
To grow up in the system and then to know that there's an extra step, there's an extra follow-through, there's something that means a lot to us, something that's created from zero and that I can put my stamp on it. It's pretty cool because some of us were on this journey together, especially in the later stages.
The players and facilities may be brand new, but the name and uniforms pay homage to the Montreal Supra, a pro team from the 1980s with deep connections to today.
You know, it all started with the Supra, and to bring that name back as well is extremely special.
Like this version of the Supra, the original club was founded to provide a platform for local talent. Players like Nick DeSantis went on to play for and coach the Montreal Impact. He's now laying the groundwork for the next generation.
To see where we're at now, we're really excited about this first game, and I hope that the fans will be there to support because it is local talent and they need that support.
For its first season, FC Supra will play home games in Laval, Montreal, and in Quebec City.
We are FC Supra du Quebec, and we want to, show people of Montreal, the greater Montreal, and Quebec City who we are.
A team for and by Quebecers with big ambition to become one of the top teams in the country. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
When we return, an Ottawa Beaver with an ironic moment today. We'll explain after the break. Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The temperature right now, 2 degrees. And with a final check on the weather, here's Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. So 2 degrees right now, but tomorrow slightly cooler, starting off at the freezing mark, cloudy skies. And guess what? Sun and cloud is anticipated. 9, maybe even 10 degrees is what we're going to anticipate. And then Sunday, 9 degrees. Monday, there is a chance that we could see some showers. Again, 17 degrees, the anticipated daytime high.
Yeah, not to be greedy, but if we do hit 10 degrees, it'd be double digits across the board for that 7-day forecast.
Want to see that. Fingers crossed.
Jackpot. Thanks, Jackie. Finally for us tonight, an unexpected visitor found its way into the Alta Vista area earlier today. A beaver was seen wandering around on Kilbourne Avenue, and this is not a joke. between Beaver Avenue, yes, the beaver was on Beaver Avenue, and Utah Street. Bylaw officers were able to track down the animal hiding out in a backyard shed. They safely relocated it near Brewer Park by the Rideau River. Happy ending for Ottawa's local beaver. Just trying to find its way home. You know, saw its name on the street sign or something. I don't know.
Well, I'll have a good weekend for that.
Have a great weekend, everyone, and thanks for watching.